yamunatiravanacharya yamunatiravanacharya Jayo Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Radha Jayo Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopijana Vallabha Girivaradhari Gopijana Vallabha Girivaradhari Yashodanandana Vraja Janaranjana Yamunatira Vanachari Yamunatira Vanachari Shri Radha Madhava Sakhi Vrinda Ki Jai. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So we're reading from Canto 2, Chapter 10, Text 11 and Text 12. Tāsu avātsīt sva-sṛṣṭāsu sahasram parivatsarān tena nārāyaṇo nāma yad-upekṣayā puruṣodbhavāḥ dravyaṁ karma ca kalascha svabhavo jiva eva ca yad-anugrahataḥ santi na santi yad-upekṣayā. Okay, I'll read word to word meaning. This translation. You want to repeat? Yeah, fine. Yad-anugrahataḥ. So, can Mataji's please speak? Okay. Okay. Thank you. I'll just begin. Read word to word meaning. 11th verse is written here? 12th, okay, fine. So I'll just read translation of 11 and then 12th you can go. Translation of text 11, that Supreme Person is not impersonal and therefore is distinctively a nara or a person. Therefore the transcendental water created from the Supreme Nara is known as nāra. And because he lies down on that water, he is known as nārayaṇa. Text 12. Dravyaṁ, physical elements. Karma, action. Cha, and. Kalaha, time. Cha, also. Sva-bhāvaḥ, jivaḥ, the living entities. Eva, certainly. Cha, also. Yat, whose. Anugrahataḥ, by the mercy of. Santi, exist. Na, does not. Santi, exist. Yad-upekṣayā, by negligence. Translation purport by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. One should definitely know how all material ingredients, activities, time and modes, and the living entities who are meant to enjoy them all exist by his mercy only, and as soon as he does not care for them, everything becomes non-existent. Purport. The living entities are the enjoyers of material ingredients, time, modes, because they want to lord it over material nature. The Lord is the supreme enjoyer, and the living entities are meant to assist the Lord in his enjoyment and thus participate in the transcendental enjoyment of everyone. The living entities are meant to assist the Lord in his enjoyment and thus participate in the transcendental enjoyment of everyone. The enjoyer and the enjoyed both participate in enjoyment, but the deluded by illusory energy, the living entities want to become the enjoyer like the Lord, although they are not meant for such enjoyment. The jivas, the living entities, are mentioned in the Bhagavad Gita as Lord's superior energy or para-prakriti, and so also is it mentioned in Vishnu Puran. Therefore, the living entities are never the Purusha or the factual enjoyers. As such, the spiritual enjoyment by the living entity in the material world is false. In the spiritual world, living entities are pure in nature, and therefore they are associates in the enjoyment of Supreme Lord. In the material world, the spirit of enjoyment of living entities by the dint of their own actions, karma, gradually fades by the laws of nature. Thus the illusionary energy dictates in the ears of conditioned souls that they should become one with the Lord. This is the last snare of illusory energy. And the last illusion is also cleared off by the mercy of Lord. Living entities again become reinstated in his original position, thus becomes actually liberated. For this attainment of liberation from material clutches, the Lord creates the material world, maintains it for some time, 1000 years of his measurement as stated in previous verse, and then again annihilates by his will. The living entities are therefore completely dependent on the mercy of the Lord, and all their so-called enjoyments by the scientific improvement are crushed into the dust when the Lord desires. Okay, let's begin. Om Ajnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshur Unmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesh Shunyavadi Paishchaddeshtarine Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namine Gaurata Sinama He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vashadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Okay, so we are discussing text 11, text 12, second 10. This chapter in itself is very important because of two reasons. And the first reason is that I think the first verse of this verse is Atra Sarga Visargascha, isn't it? Is that verse? Yeah. So one reason of this chapter is important because this chapter sets the scene for describing creation. What is creation? And also it sets the scene for understanding the entire Srimad Bhagavatam. At sargasya visargasya sthanam poshanamutaya manvantre shanu katha nirodha mukti ashraya. 10 subjects of Bhagavatam are mentioned in this chapter. And according to those 10 subjects, 12 cantos of Srimad Bhagavatam are described. We all know this. But today's topic, the second point for which this chapter is important is text 12. Now, you might not realize the importance of this verse, but if you go to South India, Udupi, and if you go to Madhva Sampradaya, and you by chance speak about this verse 2, 10, 12, they will just do dandavats to you. That's going to happen because according to them, this is one of the central verse of Srimad Bhagavatam, according to Madhvacharya. So, why is that? Why is that? Why this verse is so important? According to Gaudiya Vaishnavas, there are many other verses which are important. But if you want to understand the philosophy of God and the philosophy of mercy and His justice, then this is a verse. Without this verse, nobody can understand anything in Srimad Bhagavatam. This is a verse which is the eyes to Sri Srimad Bhagavatam. Now what this verse is talking about? The previous verse, text 11, first describes the name of God. Now, the name of God is Nārayaṇa. Now you might say, well, the name of God is Krishna, and we can fight over this. In fact, when Srila Prabhupada was there, when Srila Prabhupada was present, some foreign disciples of his, they went directly to Udupi to challenge Udupi Mutt, Swamiji. And that Swamiji took sannyas at the age of 8 years, and he was 80 years old. And our devotees, who were new at that time, Srila Prabhupada, and who were new, they went to challenge him, and they challenged him, okay, let's debate on the topic whether Narayan is God or Krishna is God. Because we understand Krishna is Avatari and Narayan is Avatar, and Narayan is expansion. So that Swamiji, he called them and gave them laddu. That's what he did. He said, okay, thank you very much. There was no point in debating. The idea is, the name Narayan is given, God is called Narayan, but we understand it's Krishna, but we can fight over this, who is supreme. But Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami in Chaitanya Charitamrita, he actually comments on this, and then he says, well, there's actually no use on fighting on this. There's no use, because ultimately Narayan and Krishna are one. There's no difference in both of them. There's absolutely no difference. They might exhibit different qualities in different circumstances. Just like Ram, he exhibits 60 qualities when he comes. Krishna exhibits 64 qualities, but we understand neither Ram has 60 qualities, neither Krishna has 64 qualities. Both have infinite qualities, isn't it? But in the pastimes, they manifest as such. So in the form of Nārāyaṇa, he might not play flute and all these things, and he might not do Ras Leela. But in fact, Narayan does Ras Leela, by the way. If you read Divya Prabandham, there is a type of Ras Leela, but anyway, he's not doing technically. Krishna is doing so many things, but even Narayan can do if he wants. In Brihad Bhagavatamrit, Gop Kumar, there was a boy who went to Vaikuntha and he saw Narayan, but he wanted to see Krishna. So Narayan became Krishna and Mahalakshmi became Radha. And the entire Vaikuntha transferred into Golok, and he was very happy. If they want, they can do it, but technically they don't do. So Narayan, the name Narayan is given Narayan Supreme, but we Gaudiya Vaishnavas understand the name Narayan as a name of Krishna. You know, see, Gaudiya Vaishnavas are very interesting because we can twist everything and anything in Sanskrit. Even Madhvas can do that, by the way. If you go to Madhva Sampradaya, they can change day into night, they can change Maya into Krishna and Krishna into Maya, just by Sanskrit scholarliness. By the way, Maya means mercy of Krishna. So Maya can mean Krishna, his mercy, and he is non-different. Maya can also mean illusion, as we know. So there are two entirely opposite meanings, but right in one word. That's what we can do if you know Sanskrit. Gaudiya Vaishnavas are also very expert in that. Madhvas, they twist the meaning of Sanskrit philosophically, according to Tattva. We interpret Sanskrit through Rasa Shastra. We are like more interested in sweetness, isn't it? They are more interested in greatness. But nevertheless, Sanskrit can be, let me put it, fondled, or Sanskrit can be interpreted. Sanskrit is also Mayavadis also comment on these verses, and they can interpret all these verses into Mayavad, and that's where Prabhupada says in purport, the last snare of illusion is Mayavad. You can take out Mayavad from the Bhagavatam verses also if you want. Okay, so Narayan, one of the name of God is Narayan. Narayan means, technically Narayan means, Ayan means to lie down, and Nara means water. Who lies down on water, ocean, Garbhodakṣayā ocean, Kshirodakṣayā ocean, that he is called Narayan. One basic technical meaning. Vishnu is lying down on the ocean of milk, he is called Narayan. But devotees are not satisfied with this meaning. We want to go a little more deeper. Srila Prabhupada comments one more meaning. The Supreme Personal is not impersonal and therefore is distinctively a Nara or a person. Narayan can also means Nara plus Ayan. Nara means so many people. Nara means person. Prabhupada takes Narayan. So he is a person, he is not impersonal. The form of God resides in God. He is having a form. Ayan also means having in Sanskrit. Reside, possessing, that can also be taken the meaning of Ayan. Another meaning of Ayan is possessing. He possesses a form. So another meaning of Narayan is who possesses a form. That's clear. Two meanings. But of course, devotees are not really satisfied with these meanings. We need a more intimate meaning with God, isn't it? That's what devotion is all about. So another meaning of Ayan is shelter. And Narayan means in whom all people take shelter. You can interpret Narayan like this also. In whom all people take shelter. He is called Narayan. So everybody takes shelter in God. That is why he is called as Narayan. Okay. Another meaning of Narayan, Ayan means reside. Who resides in the heart of everyone. He is called Narayan. So Paramatma can also be named as Narayan. So if you really read this verse, text 11, it's not necessary we are referring Narayan to Narayan, Purusha. Narayan can also be used as a very general name of God, whether he is Narayan, Ram, Krishna, or Allah, or anybody else. Allah can also call be as Narayan because everybody takes shelter of his lotus feet. So Ayan means also shelter, another meaning. In whose feet all people take shelter. That is, he is called Narayan. But that's Vaikuntha. We are people of Golok, and our Gaudiyas want to translate Narayan as from the perspective of Golok. We want to use this name as a name of Krishna. So when you go to Golok, Narayan means just the opposite. Narayan means he is who? He is a person who takes shelter of his devotees. It's just the flipping around. Krishna takes shelter of his devotees in Vrindavan. And that is why one of the name of Krishna is Narayan. Because in Golok, Krishna takes shelter of Yashoda. Krishna takes shelter of Nand Baba. He takes shelter of Srimati Radharani. If you go Bengal, Dehi Pad Pallavam Jayadev Goswami. Krishna is praying to Radha, please give me the shelter of your lotus feet. Famous verse of Jayadev Goswami. So Narayan according to us, Jiva Goswami explains, Narayan according to us refers to Krishna in Golok, and that means Krishna in Golok takes shelter of his devotees, of Vrajvasis. Why does he take shelter of devotees? To give them enjoyment. That's all. That's the whole idea. Prabhupada, I'll come to this point. The whole idea of this material creation, the whole idea of spiritual world is to give enjoyment to God, and God will give enjoyment to living entities. That's a contract. That's a contract. If you enter this contract, if you enter this, what do we say in Bible? This initiation is, I forgot the name. Huh? No. It's, huh? Yeah, baptism, but God says in Bible, so I made a contract with you. I want to enter a, I just forgot that. Huh? I just forgot that. Technical word. No, there's a technical word for that. If I remember, I'll tell you. But in Bible again this theme comes. Those Jews, and they again reject God, and again God says, okay, again I'm going to come and contract with you. Let's establish a contract. So Krishna wants us to enter a contract. He says, you give me enjoyment, I'll give you enjoyment. And if we can understand this basic principle, we will be able to understand everything about this material world. That is why this material world is made, by the way. So I'll come to this point by just a minute. But that's the meaning of Narayan, isn't it? So here, according to us, if you ask Vishwanath Thakur, if you ask Jiva Goswami, if you ask them whom this Narayan word is referring to, we'll say Krishna. That's all. How can you say Krishna? Because Krishna takes shelter of his devotees in Vrindavan. That is why it's called Narayan. We can also call Krishna as Narayan because sometimes he is doing pastimes as Narayan in Vrindavan. Many times Krishna lies down on a snake and he acts as if he's Vishnu. In Vrindavan, if you go, there is a I think Sheshghat or something, I forgot. There Krishna did this pastime. So he did this pastime of Narayan. One time Krishna took four hands, and gopis came and they said, my dear Narayan, please tell me where Krishna is. That's what he did. You can also call Krishna Narayan because in Vrindavan, Nand Baba and Yashoda Ma, they pray to Narayan. They are personal deities of Narayan in Vrindavan. So Krishna used to bow down to Narayan in Vrindavan. That is why Krishna can also be called as Narayan. So we understand, whenever we hear the word Narayan, we think of Krishna. We don't think of Vishnu, we don't think of Narayan, typically Narayan Purusha, we don't think of him. Now the question comes, what is a function of God? Now we know the name and we know his form. What is his function? Now this verse comes in the picture now, his function. And the most important function is in the last line, yad-anugrahataḥ santi na santi yad-upekṣayā. In the first line, if you see, there are 5 things in the first line. Dravyaṁ, karma, kala, sva-bhāvaḥ and jiva. Srila Prabhupada takes sva-bhāvaḥ and jiva as 1. Either you can take 4, dravya, karma, kala, sva-bhāvaḥ, jiva, or you can take 5. Some acharyas take 5. Dravya, karma, kala, sva-bhāvaḥ and jiva. So what does that mean? There are 5 items. So what are these 5 items? Dravya means material ingredients, isn't it? Dravya, earth, water, fire, air, ether, and so on and on. Karma means actions, whatever we are doing, whatever we will be doing, whatever we have done in the past. But karma doesn't mean action only. Karma means actions which are done according to our will, where our will is involved. When the actions are done according to the will of God, that is technically not called as karma, that is called as bhakti. So karma, when you speak about karma, it's not just actions. Srila Prabhupada translates as actions, but we have to understand will of that person is involved in that action. When we do according to our own will. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna speaks in Bhagavad Gita, there's a phrase, what was that verse? Anārambha sarvatyagi, what's that? Krishna says a devotee doesn't initiate any action according to his own will. We don't do that. Whenever we do something, we all think what Krishna wants, and then we do, isn't it? That's what we want, we wish to do. So karma means according to your own will actions, which binds you. Kala means time, we all know time is God. And sva-bhāvaḥ, this is an important word which I want to explain. Sva-bhāvaḥ means our nature. Now this word is very, very important, because Krishna speaks in Bhagavad Gita what is religion, what is spirituality. Now there are so many definitions of spirituality and religion. If you go to West, if you ask spirituality is a feeling, an experience, there's so many things. So once I think I was in Michigan, and university, I was giving lecture, and one student asked, okay, so what's spirituality? One student came to me and he said, spirituality means chi. I was afraid. I thought he's on drugs, He was really on drugs. He just came near to my face, He said, chi. Okay, thank you. West is crazy. There is neo-spirituality now. There are so many versions of spirituality. And what is religion? Religion is a taboo. Religion is a taboo. It's a mythology, superstition. It's dump, it's junk. Nobody believes in religion. But Krishna defines religion and spirituality in 2 words. That's the beauty of Bhagavad Gita. And this word is used there in Bhagavad Gita. That's, I think, in 17 or 18 chapter. Exactly, I forgot. But in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, sva-bhāv adhyatma uchyate. 3 words, sorry. Krishna, I think it's where Krishna says that what is kim adhyatma, kim adhidaivam. What's that verse? What's that chapter? 8th? I think 8th chapter, that questions are there. And in that he says, adhyatma, he says, sva-bhāv adhyatma uchyate. Religion is not Hinduism, Islam, Christianity, even Gaudiya Vaishnavism. That's not religion. This is not even spirituality. We use the word spirituality. Prabhupada has used the word spirituality, science of self-realization. Prabhupada has so many times used the word spirituality, because spirituality is a very common parlance used in the West. So, okay, fine, we use it. But technically, spirituality and religion word are very incomplete. The word is adhyatma, which cannot be translated into English properly. Now, Krishna says, what is spirituality, what is religion? In reality, spirituality and religion means sva-bhāv adhyatma uchyate. Sva-bhāv means, can anybody tell what do you mean by sva-bhāv? Prabhupada writes karma sva-bhāv, living entity. What do you mean by sva-bhāv? Nature? Okay. I would like to, okay, nature. Nature, it's difficult to understand what's nature. Our nature. But if you really go deeper, sva-bhāv means our reflexes. What's that? I can't hear. Inherent. Yeah, we can say inherent nature, but practically we don't really understand what's the meaning of this. Okay, your inherent nature, so what's that? Basically, if you really understand, it's our reflexes. It's our deep-rooted habits and reflexes, which is impossible to be overcome without devotion. We all have those reflexes. Basic reflex is survival reflex. We all have that. I have met so many devotees, even devotees 20, 25 years and 30 years, and we have also been in movement, and they talk to me and they tell, So some of devotees, they tell Prabhuji, it's been so long time in Krishna consciousness and it's so difficult to survive. It's difficult to survive sometimes, even in devotion and even practically in your life. There's so many problems. Definitely there are problems. So there is survival reflex. We want to survive. We want to live, isn't it? Somebody comes and puts a gunpoint. You will say, take everything but leave me. And if he says, say Krishna is not God, you might as well say that. You will say that, isn't it? Most of us, okay, Krishna is not God, okay, fine, just leave me. And then he'll go home, Krishna, I'm sorry, I spoke, but I have to say, I said, that's going to happen 100%, no matter how much advanced we are. Somebody can do it, somebody can do all glories, but it's difficult if somebody puts a gun point. I mean to say here, in Mayapur, there was bombing, Prabhupada's time, when there's all those Radha Madhav and all those stuff happened, 1970s. When there was bombing and Muslims attacked, everybody ran, most of them, to save their lives. But that's reflex. The most difficult reflex to overcome is survival reflex. The most difficult reflex. Most of the devotees in Vrindavan, I don't know about Mayapur, but in Vrindavan, most of us are always thinking of prasadam, when we will get prasadam, eating, reflex, staying, or maybe most of us thinking let's become settled in devotion, take a position and become settled. It's all survival reflex. Prabhupada used the word defending for this, isn't it? Defending, if you understand really defending, that's a very broad term. So defending your life and surviving, that survival reflex. It can come in many ways. So that's a reflex. There's a greatest reflex. That is in Buddhism, that is called bhaviya. In Buddhism, there's a book Tripitaka. There's a main book of them, and that their discussion comes. What are those reflexes which humans are bound with? What is sva-bhāvaḥ and bhavaya, survival reflex? Prahlad, he didn't have survival reflex, isn't it? Okay, elephant. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. If you are there, elephant, Hare Krishna, he'll just run away. Maybe he will not even remember Hare Krishna. He'll say, Mummy, it's Prahlad, you gave poison, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Prahlad, we understand by Prahlad, he was beyond survival reflex. That's the greatest thing. And that's why Narayan liked him. Svabhāva adhyātma uchyate. That's what Krishna says. Svabhāva means reflex. There are so many other reflexes. Lust. It's a reflex, isn't it? We don't want, it comes. Anger, greed, these are all reflexes. So, what Krishna says, what is religion? What is Krishna consciousness? Krishna consciousness, what is Gaudiya Vaishnavism? That means to conquer your reflexes, to change your reflexes. That is called religion. That is called Krishna consciousness. If you understand in this capacity what is devotion, what is Krishna consciousness, then we can understand properly what we have to do. To change your nature. To change your nature. That's why I was not using nature word. Because many times it happens, we are doing devotion, but even after 20, 30 years, same reflexes are there. Absolutely same. People don't change. The most difficult thing in this material world is to change somebody. Prabhupada did that, isn't it? Prabhupada said, okay, my magic is see these hippies and now they are sannyasis. That's why people praise Prabhupada, isn't it? Prabhupada didn't say, okay, see them, they are chanting Hare Krishna. Okay, yes, they are chanting Hare Krishna. But even many foreigners, they used to come in Rishikesh, and Rishikesh, if you go, there is an ashram. Who is that? Shivanand? Yeah, Shivanand ashram. 24 hours they are chanting Hare Krishna. There are many people in Rishikesh who profess chanting Hare Krishna. So uniqueness of Srila Prabhupada was not to give Hare Krishna, but uniqueness was to give Hare Krishna and change them. Prabhupada, when he chanted, there was power in Prabhupada, infused his power, Shakti, through that mantra in the hearts of devotees, and they changed. And that's what we appreciate. So that's the whole point. point of devotion is to change yourself. If after 15, 20 years you find yourself the same person with same reflexes, remember this word reflex. Reflex means you don't want but it comes. If you are in the same position, you are not practicing religion, you are not practicing Krishna consciousness, sorry. You are day 1, day 20 years, same. That's why Krishna defines sva-bhāvaḥ adhyatma uchyate, beautiful definition. This definition can be applied to all religions. You can be Christian, you can be Muslim, you can be Krishna conscious, you can be Madhva, you can be Vaishnav, but if you're not changing, the process is not working on you. Process is best, but you're not applying it properly. That you know why you're not applying, but that's the whole point. That is this word, sva-bhāvaḥ. And so if anybody asks what is religion, spirituality, what is Krishna consciousness, you can change, you can answer this. Sva-bhāvaḥ adhyatma uchyate. Actually, Srila Prabhupada answered this in another way. I think Prabhupada was in the West and Prabhupada was going in a car. Exactly, I don't know, in LA or New York, exactly, I don't remember. But he was ready to go, he was sitting in the car, and one devotee, new devotee, he just came running to Prabhupada. He barged there and Prabhupada, he said, Prabhupada, what is Krishna consciousness? He just asked. So Prabhupada cannot give a lecture, you know, he's about to go. Prabhupada looked and Prabhupada said, desire. And that's best definition of Krishna consciousness, desire. And it's not Srila Prabhupada's definition. This is Rupa Goswami's definition, tatra laulyam api ekalam. But Srila Prabhupada's uniqueness is he interpreted laulyam not as greed. If you read all the translations of all the other publications, Rupa Goswami says the only prize to attain Krishna is tatra laulyam ekalam mulyam. If you want to attain Krishna, you should have desire to attain him. Somebody asked me the other day on this Mayapur live talk show that Prabhupada was a pure devotee from childhood and that is why he attained Krishna. Can we attain Krishna in this life? We were not devotees from childhood. So I said, well, it doesn't matter whether you are devotee from child or whether you are devotee from wild, from anywhere, whether for last life or no life. If you have desire to attain Krishna, you can attain him now. And if you don't have, you can spend 10 lifetimes, but you will not attain Krishna. It's not possible. So Prabhupada said desire. And that is the meaning of this word sva-bhāvaḥ. We have so many unnatural desires which we should not have. And Prabhupada said Krishna consciousness means changing your desire. That's the whole idea there. Sva-bhāvaḥ, desire or reflex. And jiva, here technically, many acharyas, they take jiva as separate, and jiva means free will. When we talk of jiva, free will, swatantricha. When we say jiva, that means free will, because we are distinct from God in our will. That's all. That makes a real distinction. Otherwise, he is Satchit Anand, we are Satchit Anand, isn't it? But he is having a free will, we are having a free will. That what makes two different people. If we don't have any free will, we become table and chair, dead. If we have free will as same as God, then we become God, Radha. But we have a different free will than Krishna. We can choose to make a will by our own free choice in consonance, in harmony with Krishna, that we can choose. But nevertheless, we have different free will. We have capacity to will. Krishna has capacity to will. That is called a jiva. That's the meaning of jiva. So there are 5 things. Now what does it verse says? If you really understand these 5 things. Krishna's Bhagavatam says, yad-anugrahataḥ santi. Anugraha means what in Sanskrit? Anugraha means mercy. Now, if you understand, well, yeah, it's called mercy. But if you go in deeper in this word, it's an interesting word. Anu plus graha. Graha means to catch, to grasp. Anu means what? Anu means small. One meaning is small. Another meaning of, there are many meanings of Anu. Anu also means to follow. Anusaran, to follow. Anugraha means that Krishna wants to catch people. He follows people. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he said, I I am following people, I'm spreading a net of love of God and I'm following behind them and trying to catch them, isn't it, in that net of love? So Krishna walks behind his devotees. In 11th canto there is a verse and Krishna himself says to Uddhav, I follow my devotees. And the question comes, why do you follow your devotees? Devotees are already having your mercy. Okay, fine. You are going behind normal, you're going behind materialistic people, we understand that. You're going behind them to catch them, to give them mercy. They are running away from you, you want to give them mercy, so you're running behind them. Why do you go behind devotees? Krishna says, I go behind my devotees because I want the dust of their lotus feet. Now the question comes, why do you want the dust of the lotus feet of your devotees? Why do you want the dust of feet of devotees? Any answer? Why does Krishna want the dust of feet of devotees? Devotees want the dust of the lotus feet of Krishna, but Krishna wants the dust of lotus feet of his devotees. Why is that? Why is that? There is a big question. And this question Jiva Goswami raises in that verse of Srimad Bhagavatam 11th canto. In the purport also, Prabhupada disciples, they comment on this. So Krishna wants the dust of lotus feet of his devotees because Krishna says, if I don't take the dust of lotus feet of devotees, I will be at fault. Krishna has no fault, isn't it? Sarva dosha vivarjitam, sarva kalyanmaika gunaha. Krishna is the ocean of all good qualities. He doesn't have any fault. But Krishna says, if I don't take the dust of lotus feet of my devotees, I will be at fault. What fault? The fault will be that they love me so much. And if I don't reciprocate with their love, that's a big fault. The biggest fault in this world is not to reciprocate with love of God, isn't it? That's why we are here. That's why we are here, by the way. We didn't reciprocate with him in spiritual world. Krishna says, okay, go to this material world and do your gymnastics and whatever you want to do. And you reciprocate with the love of people, with the love of humanity. You try to do all these things, but you will not be satisfied. And we didn't reciprocate with the love of God. So Krishna wants to reciprocate with the love of his devotees. If he doesn't do that, he will be at big fault. Krishna doesn't want that. Yathamam prapadyante. Devotees take the dust of lotus feet. I take the dust of lotus feet. So you see, anugraha means mercy, isn't it? Anugraha means mercy. Krishna gives mercy not from front, but from behind. In Upanishads it comes. Guru, you see, in Upanishad it says, there are two sticks. One is disciple, one is guru. So what do you say? If you put two sticks like this, now Upanishads ask this question, which is guru and which is disciple? The above or the below? What do you say? Above or below? Above one is guru or below one is guru? Well, if you say below one is guru, then it's not a good way to think because he is below disciple. But if you say above the disciple, that seems sensible, but Upanishad says no. The lower stick is guru and the above is disciple. Why? Because guru supports the disciple from below. Krishna is following his devotees. Why? Krishna gives mercy from behind. Why? Because he doesn't want to give from front. You know why? Because he is very humble. Prabhupada says in one of his lecture, Krishna is the most humble. So Bhakti Tirth Maharaj, when he was brahmachari, Ghanshyam Prabhu, it is recorded that he met Prabhupada. I think he met in LA. I don't know exactly, but he met in LA, and he was saying that Srila Prabhupada, we did this, we did bus party, we made temples and all these things. Yeah, so then Prabhupada says, well, Prabhupada said, you are nothing. He was saying, we did this, we did this, we did this, we did this. Then Prabhupada said, well, Krishna is a most humble person. If you ask Krishna, that's why Krishna gives from behind. Krishna doesn't want to give from front. Krishna wants to give from behind so that you don't even understand who is giving this mercy. He doesn't want to tell you. He will never tell you. No matter if you live your whole lifetime in Mayapur and if you take darshan of Radha Madhav whole lifetime of Panchtattva, they will never tell you we were giving you mercy. They're not going to talk to you, isn't it? They don't talk to us. So one reason is because we are not pure devotees. Vishwanath Chakri Thakur, he used to talk to Radha Gokul Anand. Bhakti Sandaswasi Thakur, here Chaitanya Gaudiya Math, Gandharv Gandharvika, he used to directly talk to Radharani. Krishna doesn't talk to us. Why? Because he doesn't like us? No. He likes us. We don't like him. He wants to talk to us, but he doesn't talk because he's most humble. He's shy to talk. That's what Vallabhacharya explains. That's what actually Srila Prabhupada writes in Nectar of Devotion. When that quality comes, shyness, there are so many qualities of Krishna. Nectar of Devotion after chapter 20, one of the qualities shy. He's very shy. He doesn't want to come in front. He stands in the altar, he gives his darshan, but he's feeling shy. So he smiles for a benefit, and that's why he keeps other devotees. See, if you come alone, you will feel more shy, isn't it? Okay, click my photo. So, okay, come on, other fellows. So you don't, shyness. There's a reason for everything. Krishna keeps Radha with him. There's a reason for this. He feels very shy to give mercy, so he keeps Radha. So anybody comes, Krishna, give me mercy, he says, okay, ask her. He can give, ask her. There are so many reasons for that. All these reasons Srila Prabhupada explains in Chaitanya Charitamrita, Ante Leela. If you read Ante Leela nicely, all these reasons are there. This is called as anugraha, mercy of Krishna. Yad-anugrahataḥ santi. Santi means exist. All these 5 things will exist only because of mercy of God. Na santi yad-upekṣayā. Upeksha means what? Neglect. In Niti Shastra, there are 18 punishments which you can give to a Gurukuli kid. You are Gurukul? Okay. We can give you 18 types of punishment. We can give you a list. But the topmost punishment according to Shukracharya Niti is negligence. Neglect. Neglect. That's the greatest punishment. If a husband neglects a wife, it's more than physical torture. If a wife neglects a husband, he will die in one night. If next day she doesn't speak, it's a mental torture. If a teacher neglects a student, it's a big torture, neglect. So that's this word, upekṣayā. If Krishna neglects us, if Krishna punishes us, that's okay. That's his mercy. That's his mercy. And we understand that. Tatyanukampam susamikshamano bhunjane vatmam kritam vipakam. Krishna, your mercy is mercy, your punishment is mercy, your smile is mercy, your anger is mercy. We want your mercy. When Krishna punishes us, we say, Krishna, thank you very much for your mercy. When Krishna gives us real mercy, then we say, Krishna, thank you very much. When Krishna gives us punishment, then we say to Krishna, Krishna, what wrong thing we did? That's absolutely wrong to say. That we are blaming God, Krishna, that he didn't do justice to us. That's a blasphemy. So that's this mercy. So real mercy is neglect. If Krishna neglects these 5 things, everything will cease to exist. That's this verse. The idea of this verse is due to Krishna, everything sustains, everything exists, everything is dependent on him. If he removes this mercy, everything will become destroyed, it will dissolve. And why Bhagavatam is telling us this? Because dravya karma kalascha sva-bhāvaḥ. This is a word you have to take home today. Our nature, our free will is also dependent on the will of Krishna, on the mercy of Krishna. If he wants, then our nature can change. If he doesn't want, we can keep on following the process, nothing is going to happen. The idea of Krishna consciousness is not to follow a process mechanically. Prabhupada says in Science of Self-Realization. The idea of Krishna consciousness is to follow the process in a way that Krishna becomes happy and he wills to give us mercy. This is the art of Krishna consciousness, is to chant in a way, to take darshan of God in a way that Krishna wants to see us. And not that we just want to see him. That's not the whole picture. We want his mercy. We want to please him. So how we want to please him? by service. And when we try to overcome our reflexes, sva-bhāvaḥ, then Krishna will help us to overcome our reflexes. He will, Srila Prabhupada says, Krishna consciousness is a joint effort. It's not a single effort. It's not from only God's side or from our side. It's a joint effort. Shri Vaishnavas, they might not like to say that. Vadakalai might say, no, it's an individual project. Jiva. Loka Pillacharya will say, no, it's an individual project. Krishna will pick you up. Bhakti-siddhanta says, no, it's a joint effort. You have to put effort, he will put effort, and when both put effort, then your nature, subhava will change. When your subhava changes, you become pleasing in Krishna's eyes. It's always a joint effort. Krishna will do something, we will do something for Krishna. When we do for Krishna, Krishna will do something for us. Krishna will do, we will do 1%, Krishna will do 10%, but he will not tell us that he is doing 10%. Why he will not tell us? Because he is very shy person. He will not tell us. He is very humble. And for a benefit also, he will not tell us. So that's when both of us do. In fact, this contract is a bizarre contract because we are putting efforts, Krishna is putting efforts, whole parampara is putting efforts on us. You can see, that's why on altar we have whole parampara. Everybody putting efforts on us, but we are still the same. How nonsense we are, you can imagine. Whole spiritual world is trying to lift us, but we are same. Same enjoying tendency. That's a pathetic condition. This is called conditioned living entity. This is called conditioning. So we should learn to reciprocate with the parampara, and that's called liberation. That's what this verse is. We are seeking the mercy of Lord, but to seek the mercy of Lord, you have to anugraha. Graha means catch. To catch, we need efforts. Krishna has to put efforts on us. Krishna plans, Krishna puts circumstances, Krishna beats us, Krishna caresses us like a mother. He wants, just like a mother for a child. No? Child will do so many things. Mother will do so many things for the child. Child will do so many things for the mother. There's a bond. But child never realizes how much mother is doing, isn't it? When they become old enough and when they have their own children, then there's, oh my God, they were doing so much. So we can never realize how much Krishna is doing. Krishna, at the time of dissolution, pralaya, he neglects. Everything dissolves. When creation comes, he again tries to give his mercy and everything creates. Similar things happens in a heart. Same things. When Krishna wants to give us mercy, then Krishna consciousness is created in a heart. Srishti, atra sarga. That's where I began. And when he neglects us, everything is destroyed. We might have made a temple of Krishna consciousness, working hard for 30 years, but if we displease him, if we displease his devotees, then in 1 second, the whole mansion will crumble. It will come to zero. It will come to zero. So we have to be very careful. When you're dealing with mercy of God, it's not as simple as what we think. Krishna gave me mercy and he will give it. That's not as simple. There's so many dynamics are happening. He wants to give, but he cannot give sometimes. That's also there because of probably if he gives mercy now, if you're not eligible, you will become egoistic. There are so many dynamics happening. If he gives you mercy now, and if you're not eligible, you will have loose motions. You will not be able to digest his mercy. His mercy will be go to China and preach. Prabhupada told Tamal Krishna Maharaj. Tamal Krishna Maharaj, no, I don't want. I'm giving you mercy. So if Krishna decides to give you mercy, you need guts to digest it. So he doesn't give you mercy in total. He will decide when to give, how much to give, according to your openness, according to your openness of your free will. How much you want Krishna to enter in your life. With the point in the mind, he can do anything to you. Ashlishya padratam pinishtumam. He can lift you up, he can crush you, he can throw you, you should be ready. And that's called Krishna consciousness. Okay, so I think I'll take some time for questions. They're just 9 o'clock, I have to finish. Thank you very much. I want to speak a lot about mercy. There are so many things to be spoken, but I think...
Thank you, Prabhuji. Dandavat Pranam. My query is that on 11th number verse, there is a Nārāyaṇa So is it synonymous to Vishnu? We can call Vishnu also Narayan.
Narayan word is a very general word. It's not specific. Narayan can be used for Vishnu, for Ram, for Narayan, for Sankarshan, Anirudh, Pradyum, because Narayan means in whose lotus feet people take shelter. So it's in a very general category. That's the whole idea.
And one more, in the Badrikashram Himalayas, there is Narayaṇ. So deity is there. Nara means Arjuna.
Yeah,
and
that's
Narayan.
specific.
Okay.
That's specific.
Thank you.
That's all.
It seems that maybe the best way to alter our sva-bhāvaḥ and get it into something that's acceptable by Krishna is through very enthusiastically chanting our rounds, without not mechanically, but from the heart, with feeling. Please Krishna, purify me. Please Krishna, let me be your servant. Please Krishna.
Yeah, definitely. That's the main thing, definitely. But of course, there's so many other things we have. We have to do so many other things to chant enthusiastically. That's with feelings. Yeah, otherwise it doesn't come. We understand that. So I think it's a whole package. If we just take rice and we don't take dal and sabji, we can't digest. So rice is the main thing, but you need pickle and other things to digest. So there is service, there are so many things, there's philosophy, and then chanting is real energy is there. Yeah, like that. Yeah, what do you want to ask?
What does sva-bhāvaḥ mean?
Sva-bhāvaḥ means you're a child, isn't it? You like to play? That's your sva-bhāvaḥ. I don't like to play. That's not my sva-bhāvaḥ. Isn't it? You like pastries? Pastries? When you see pastry, your eyes will, that's your sva-bhāvaḥ, isn't it? That is reflex, your nature, your reflex. From last lives it is there.
So reflex means willing to your desire.
Was that?
Willing your wanting your desire.
Yeah, that's your desire. Okay. Yeah.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Prabhu, how much of our life is predestined and how much we have free will?
Well, there is the destination, there is free will also. 50%, 50%. If you really want to get calculation. According to astrology, some scripture says 50-50. 50% is destined, 50% is free will. You have some destiny, you are having, your specs is due to destiny. But if you do some exercises, you can remove your specs. That's your free will. So, but, I mean to say it's a big topic. But by your free will, you can earn a lot of money. There are some things which are not in your destiny. Your destiny destines your happiness and distress, but it doesn't destine the amount of money you get. You can attend a motivational seminar and you can learn and you can grab, you can do crime and attend a lot of money. But the amount of happiness you will get from that money, that is destined. You will not be able to use it. So happiness and distress is destined. The modes we have for happiness and distress, that's not destined, that's your free will. At large, in general.
So Prabhuji, can we say that in life, most important things are already destined? Is it?
No. Your death is destined. Your mode of death is destined. Manu Samhita says 4 things are fixed. Your death, time of death, mode of death, you will come under car or you will be in fire or you will die like that. Your intelligence is destined. How much intelligent you are, not education. Even idiots can become IIT. No problem. And the amount of lust you have, that is destined. That is marriage. That is destined. But that can change. Marriage you can change if you are in devotional line, otherwise it is destined. These 4 things are destined. Other things are not. These are fixed. You can't change them. Marriage you can if you want to become brahmachari, but that's also difficult, isn't it? So many people try to become brahmachari, then they end up marrying. That's difficult to change. But death, mode of death, and the other thing, what's that? Intelligence. You can't change. That is why there is varnashrama. Brahman most intelligent, Kshatriya less. You can't change the level of intelligence. You have to give them the work according to their intelligence. You can't change.
Prabhu, is it that is it that in marriage, the partner is destined or the
Oh my, you want to marry? You're married? Okay. Forget it. Don't get a partner. Marriage is not good. Sorry, I am brahmachari, so I am saying that. It's not destined. Partner is not destined. You can take any girl you want. You can take 2 girls, 3 girls, 4 girls. Polygamy was there in India, isn't it? Okay.
Sorry, Prabhu, I have a personal question. It's not related to class. This may be funny.
You have to speak loudly, Prabhu. I can't hear anything.
I had a personal question, so not related to Krishna.
Can anybody ask from the class? I'll take personal later because otherwise it just bores audience. Should be related to class.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Prabhu, is it possible to transcend our sva-bhāvaḥ altogether?
It's almost impossible.
So then,
But by bhakti, it is possible. That is also hope against hope.
Okay.
Raghunath Das Goswami says, it's very difficult to change our nature, but you have to practice Krishna, as Prabhupada said, very enthusiastically, with desire and with a fixed aim. Otherwise, you see, we have seen so many devotees, even us, even our 20 years, same habits. It's very difficult.
so then how do we manage with our sva-bhāvaḥ and devotional activities?
First step is we should have a desire to change our svabhava. 50% work is done. People don't have even this understanding. Krishna consciousness means to change your svabhava. People think Krishna consciousness means chanting 16 rounds, Mangalarti, lecture and this. That's not a process. Prabhupada speaks so many times in his books. So you need an attitude behind that thing. Attitude is a key to success, nectar of instruction, preamble. So first we have a desire to change svabhava. Then when you have a desire, then we will work hard to change. There is external work, there is internal work. Most of us are in external work. That's important. 50% is internal journey. We have to work inside also. When we work both ways, then we can change our svabhava. One way doesn't happen.
Thank you, Prabhu. And one more question, Prabhuji. You mentioned that in the class, Krishna is very humble,
Yeah.
and he does not come in front to give his mercy. And you also mentioned that we came in this material world because we failed to reciprocate with the love of Krishna in Golok Vrindavan.
Yeah.
So if you will not understand his mercy, then how we will reciprocate?
Well, he will give from behind, he will not tell you, but he will give you the cognition of that. You know, understand cognition?
Yeah.
He will give you the sense within your heart. I am intuition, I am giving you this. I am doing this. But he will not openly declare. He will not even openly tell you. Within your heart, he will give you that intuition to help you to understand what is his mercy. And then he will take it back. So then you have to apply your philosophy to understand.
Okay.
And then he will give you. And then he'll take it back. That's what he does. He stays in Vrindavan, goes out, he comes back, he goes out. That's his style, Coming near, going far. Vipralam, Sanyog, that's his style. He does that.
So you mean, Prabhu, to understand his mercy, we need to approach sadhu and shastra
Yeah,
through that?
of course.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you, Prabhu. Thank you very much.
Of course. But chanting is the main thing. Chanting. Okay, nobody wants to ask anything?